Namaste, everyone, and welcome back to LiveStronger. Today, we are going to work on our leg strength. We are going to put our legs through some high intensity or high volume exercises. Straight away, I'm going to start with the greatest stretch, 5 repetitions on each side. I'm going to speed up the video as usual. I am pretty sure by now you have already learned how to do this. Make sure you feel the stretch in your inner thighs, in your glutes, in your hamstrings, in your calf muscles. The entire lower body should be unlocked and ready to go for all the lower body focused exercises which we are going to do today. A lot of upper back mobility is also unlocked with this particular stretch. Totally recommended stretch for every day for everyone. So, post completing the greatest stretch, we are going to jump into our deep squat, the mandatory deep squat for the day. Make sure you deep squat at least once in a day to ensure your hips open up properly and also you sustain that deep squat capability. If there is any kind of tightness, I'm pretty sure that would get highlighted if you're unable to squat in deep. Hold there for a few seconds, move your body weight or shift your body weight into onto one ankle at a time, just ensuring ankle mobility is also unlocked here. You would feel a little bit of contraction happening in your shin muscles, and that's absolutely fine as you shift the weight from one ankle to the other. You might also feel a little bit of mobility happening at your hip joint once you are in the deep squat. For my warm up, I'm going to use the leg press. Today, I'm going to use the leg press and try to figure out different stances in the leg press equipment I have at disposal. I am pretty habituated to using a leg press at a 45-degree angle, basically lying down 45-degree leg press. But seated leg press is a little bit, I would say, new to me. So I tried to figure out the right stances for quad and hamstrings, which stance would do the best for me. But before I start that, I ensure that I go through the range of movement using one leg at a time as a warm up. So I quickly took a good, comfortable stance, just about 90 degrees, and started pushing. I never locked my knee out completely, never preferred to do that. Maybe I'm a little bit afraid that I might injure myself, but I just don't prefer to lock my knee out, keep the tension always in my quads and my hamstrings to hold that a little bit bent position and quickly switch from one leg to the other. Just 12 to 15 repetitions on each leg, get the blood flowing in, get the movement going on, and we are good to go for our working sets. Now, when it came to the working sets, since it's an equipment based exercise which I chose to do, I tried to load it as much as possible. So, I've done 6 sets of this. I know a lot of sets and 10 repetitions, but in a quick manner. Since there's not much to move around, you won't waste much of time. The minute break in between is the most amount of time which you would require in the exercise. So 6 minutes there and another 5 minutes to complete all the sets. The 6 sets would be completed within 5 minutes. So hardly 10 minutes of exercising your legs. For my first set, I have taken a wide upper stance wherein I placed my feet almost on the topmost part of the rack, and I still felt a lot of quad activation. My quads, I'm very quad dominant, so I feel a lot of quads. For my second, third, fourth, fifth, as you can see in the multiple windows, I have tried different stances, and then I finally figured out that a bit close stance with toes pointing outwards gave me a lot of hamstring and glute activation, and any other wide stance, my feet placed at any other location, has always given me a lot of quad activation. So that's a learning for me. So now I know whenever I want to work on this particular equipment, I can choose to place my legs according to my requirement now that I have learned it. So on the sixth set, I tried to finish off with a lot of hamstring and glute work. Every repetition, I made sure I squeezed my glutes and focused my strength on my hamstrings because I'm quad dominant. So my quads are any which ways kicking in a lot. So I try to focus all of my attention on my glutes so that they keep working along in this exercise. So after the 10 minutes of gruesome leg presses, we move on to our adductor work, inner thighs. 4 sets, 12 repetitions with again 60 seconds of rest in between. Take a weight which is challenging. If you don't have this particular equipment, I have recommended earlier, you can just use a resistant tube or resistant band, put it on the support, put it around your ankle, and try to pull the leg towards the midline of your body, standing at a distance. I have done that earlier in my earlier videos, in the starting videos, wherein I was doing a bro split. So make sure you feel the stretch as the legs are pushed by the weight if you are using similar equipment, and try to close the weight as slowly as possible, bringing the legs together towards the midline of the body, ensuring that you feel all the contractions in your inner thighs. Your legs should be trembling by now, because if you had done it with as much intensity as I did, my legs totally were trembling by the end of this exercise. So after that, I chose to move into drop catches, which is basically our forearm work. I have done 3 sets of it, 12 repetitions each hand. And my right hand, the plate was slipping a lot because my thumb, for some reason, I was not able to hold properly with my right hand, but my left hand was performing good. So I continue to do with the 5 kilo plate. If you feel strong and you're able to control the 5 kilo plate very comfortably, do level up. If you have a 7.5 kilo plate, which I don't have, use that. If not, even shift to a 10 kilo plate. Otherwise, just stick to 5 kilo. If 5 kilo is challenging or quite challenging that you're not able to get your 12 repetitions, use a 2.5 kilo plate. Ensure you lift the weight as high as possible and then drop it and try to catch it before it hits the ground. Good amount of forearm activation, good reflex development for our forearms. You'll develop an insanely good grip strength in terms of quick action. Post completing this particular workout, what I have done is I move back to my legs. So let me close off with this exercise, last few reps, and then I chose to do seated hamstring curls. Now, why? Because I wanted to get a lot of hamstring activation with my leg press, but it took a long time for me on more number of sets to figure out the right stance. So I chose to do another 2 sets of hamstring curls, about 20 repetitions, starting off with one leg at a time, maybe 3 to 4 repetitions each leg, then shifting the leg. And then once I was starting to get tired, I was starting to do 1 repetition each leg. And once absolutely done, both the legs together. You can not complicate it much and use both your legs, but I try to always start with one leg at a time to get the maximum amount of work done. And once my legs are tired and I'm unable to curl the weight anymore, is when I shift into both the legs at a time. And simply my legs were done. Easy and very less variation, but a lot of intensity. Gave it all in these 3 exercises which I have done. Post the exercises, we move into our static stretches, ensure that our muscle regains its neutral length after all the contractions we have put it through. Now, make sure you hold the stretch for 20 seconds on each leg. More than 20 seconds is not a necessity. Less than 20 seconds is not sufficient. Maybe 15 to 20 seconds is okay, but 20 seconds is a sweet spot always, for me at least. So hold those stretches there. Make sure you feel it. We have done the stretches, nothing new, absolutely simple, basic hamstring and quad stretches, which we do always. I've just used the bench leg holder as a support to get my quads and hamstrings stretched. Can use it if you wish. If not, I have done this earlier without using the a bench also. Just hold your leg in your arms and stand as straight as possible, pulling the quads into a stretched position. Now, if you did like the video, I would definitely appreciate a like. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, sub to the channel is a lot of positive feedback. And please do drop a comment. I will be dropping videos as consistently as possible, so please do drop me a feedback. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good evening.